Hi, and welcome to Module 4, where I'll show you how to make a second income using personalized goods. If you recall, we discussed in the ebook Easy Arbitrage Profits, a product which I sold, which was personalized wedding cake toppers. All I did was list a product on eBay and receive orders. The engraver with whom I worked with on the project sourced the materials and did all the work. So it was pretty easy money for me. Now, there's plenty of other products that we can get stuck into, but one that I wanted to show you today is a photo on a canvas. So that sells for $19.95 on eBay. As you can see, it's a very, very busy listing. What it entails is essentially the client sells a picture to the seller and the seller prints it on a canvas and then sends it back. So how do we make money on this? There's a number of ways. The first one would be a simple arbitrage, as we discussed previously. So this is selling for $19.95. There's about a 10% commission on eBay, including PayPal. So a very similar product sells on Amazon for $15.15, and that's one way of making money here. But another way, and this is how I've made even bigger money, would be to treat this as a business and find a supplier that will fulfill the orders from the listings. How do we find suppliers? There's a number of ways. One of which would be to go to a site like Yale.com, key in canvas printing or whichever other product you may be selling at the time, coming up with a local supplier and then approaching them, agreeing a good price that would be advantageous to yourself, and then fulfilling the orders. Another place to find people that would do this sort of work would be someone like Gumtree.com. Another place would be Google.com and such like. There's always going to be people who are happy to do the work as long as you can find the sales. That's just a fact of life. So how do we find products? We've looked at personalized cake toppers, and we've looked at canvas printing. But how do we find more and more products? How do we make this a very large and prosperous business? The key here is to let the marketplaces do all the heavy lifting for you. They know what is selling, and if you use their knowledge and their algorithms, then you can find some really good ideas. So I would go into eBay, key personalized, and then just go through the alphabet. So if you key in A, some of the products that will come up will be things that I personally would have never thought of, like personalized apron or auntie gifts, whatever that is. And then B, so you have things like bunting, baby blankets, birthday cards. On C, canvas, Christmas cards. And then you just go through the alphabet, and the ideas that you will come up with would be very large and wide indeed. And then all we do is we just go through the same process. So we find a local supplier, we put an attractive listing on eBay, Amazon, and some of the other websites that I've showed you in the ebook, and then we start to make money in that fashion. This leads us to the end of Module 4, and I'll see you in Module 5, where we will look at local sourcing riches.